Hello guys, my name is Mr. Mrrboss and welcome back to my C++ tutorials. All right, so in this video, I'm basically going to be looking at functions with multiple parameters. So I know that I already touched on functions that consisted of parameters in the previous video, and I spoke of functions that have two parameters, int x and int y, and I also spoke of functions that just do not have parameters at all. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at functions that consist of more than two parameters. And we both know that parameters are basically additional information that we need for a function. So let's say, for instance, we're going to be creating, we want to create a function that does division. And we want it to have, let's say, for instance, more than what? More than two parameters. Then in that case, I'm going to show you how you can basically do that. So first thing first, I'm going to just create my function. And I think you all know that I like creating my functions below my int main. It just makes my work much neater and much easier to deal with. So yeah, this is what works for me. Of course, for you, anything can work and stuff like that. So I want my function to be to return an integer. So I'm gonna say int and then give my function a name. Let's say, for instance, divide, right? Int divide. And then put my parentheses over there. And then inside my parentheses, I'm going to give my parameters. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to say int x, int y, int z, what else? Int t. All right, so please note, guys, that when I was writing my parameters, I actually separated my parameters using commas. It is a common mistake that people make, and you're gonna get a bunch of errors. I did make that mistake in my previous video where I basically placed semicolons here, and I realized later when I was trying to run my code that, oh crap, I actually made a mistake. So please do not make that mistake. Just pay careful attention when you're writing your functions so that you don't have to deal with all those problems. All right, and then you're gonna put your braces, opening and closing braces, and then we want our function to basically do division. So I'm gonna say, okay, int answer, because obviously the answer is gonna be an integer, and then I'm gonna say int answer is equals to what? I'm gonna say int answer, or let's say int answer 1. Int answer 1 is equals to x divided by y. And then int answer 2 is equals to z divided by t, right? So I think this is a very good way of doing things. And then from there, I'm gonna say okay, and then from there, I'm basically gonna say, let me go to my main function and let me call this function. So I'm just gonna come up here and then I'm first gonna paste it. If you don't understand what I'm doing, guys, please do watch my previous video. I did explain how you can basically do all these things, and I also made it easy to understand the reason why you can write functions in this specific way. All right, so from there, let me just say semicolon, put some space over there so that if there's an error, I can manage to differentiate between the two. Paste, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the data type. All right, so hit a semicolon. Then I'm gonna see out. Yeah, and then inside my parentheses, my parentheses. Okay, so guys, this is basically what I basically have done here. Okay, let me just remove the C out, and then I'm gonna explain why I used it. All right, so what I've basically done here, guys, is I have created my function. below my int main over here. And then after creating my function, I basically included my functions above the int main so that when my program is running, it can actually identify what I'm dealing with. When it looks at divide, it's not going to give me a bunch of errors and say, okay, fine, what does divide mean? So let me just cut this and let me run this code and I'll show you what I'm basically talking about. Okay, so it's saying that error divide was not declared in this scope. And that is because I did not include my function name with the data type above the int main. So what I need to do is I just need to include it right above here. And then from there, the error is going to be gone. So if I run this code right now, let's see what is going to happen. It's saying that error too few arguments to function int divide. And that is because I did not include my parameters inside my brackets. So I'm going to include my parameters, and then I'm going to make my parameters 45, 45, that's 5, let's have 30, and let's have 15, right? So those are our parameters, of which the 45 belongs to x, int x, the 5 belongs to int y, and so on. All right, so what is going to happen is this: if I run this code right now, I won't be surprised if it doesn't actually output anything onto the screen, regardless of me including my parameters. However, from my knowledge, it's not supposed to give me any errors. So let me just run it. Let's see what it's going to do. Okay, so I think it's evident that the code ran successfully. However, it's not actually outputting anything. It's just saying process return 0. And the reason for that is because I didn't actually output the final results. So previously, in my previous video, I actually came below. I came below the int answer, and then I said C out, and then I said C out. Answer. So let's see what is going to happen if I do this. See out answer 1, and then end line. Okay, let me just do this. See out answer 1 and open inverted comma, close inverted comma, and then let me say answer 2, and then end line. Okay, let's see what this is gonna do. Let's see what this is gonna do. I'm sure, I believe it's gonna output the answer, the answers. Let's see what it's gonna do. Okay, so it's saying that the answer for the first division is 9. The answer for the second division is 2. So let's look at the first division. Answer 1. Answer 1 is saying x divided by y. X is equals to 45, y is equals to 5. 45 divided by 5 is indeed equals to 9. So the answer 9 is correct. Now let's look at the second division, which consists of 30 and 15. 30 belongs to Z, 15 belongs to T. Now, answer number 2 says Z divided by T, and that means that we're dividing 30 divided by 15, and that gives us the answer of 2. So the second answer is also correct. So guys, this is how you can write a function with multiple parameters. I hope this was a very educational video, and I hope you learned how to write functions with multiple parameters. So the take or something that you can learn from this video is you're not limited to the number of parameters that you can basically include in your function. You can include as many parameters as you want, as long as you are going to remember to include the values for those specific parameters. That would be quite fantastic. So thank you guys for watching this video. In the next video, I'm basically going to be talking about if statements, which is completely different from functions. If statements, they give you a choice in terms of when you're coding and stuff like that. So I feel like if you're very much interested in if statements, you can use them a lot in writing code that can make a decision and stuff like that.